Do you know what these are? I spotted these as I was riding around, and I see them labeled as Hummingbike, which is a brand I've never heard of. I've heard of Hummingbird. They are Hummingbird yellow, but I checked the Hummingbird website as well as did a Google search, and I couldn't find anything like this with the Hummingbird name. It's kind of hard for me to tell how old they are, just that they have had a rough life for however long that's been. Both are secured just with a cable lock at the front wheel, so it's amazing that they haven't been taken because it looks like they've been sitting for a while. I do like the front wheel, so I understand why they would cable them, and this looks like maybe a potential fork travel that might be a bizarre amount for such a small fork. Up top I see, well, I'm not exactly sure what that big yellow thing is, GPS, maybe a bell. I didn't want to touch anything, they're not my bikes. What I also didn't do was pay attention to what looks like a bird's nest in the front basket, and a bird's nest with eggs. Am I the only one seeing this? Does that not look like there might be eggs down in there? Looks like eggs to me. Potential baby birds aside, up top I thought at first this was a standard bike when I rode by, but I quickly saw this is actually an e-bike. The giveaway's a twist throttle at the right grip, and if that isn't obvious enough, over on the left grip, a computer controller. It even says electric bicycle, which I found humorous. It looks like there is, or was, it isn't looking too healthy, but I believe this was a headlight at one point tucked behind the basket. Looking at the drivetrain, and yeah, these bikes have clearly not been ridden in a long while. Something I always find interesting on bikes that have sat outside for a while, look how new these alloy parts still look compared to the steel chain. Check this out, looking at these rear wheels, that is dual rear wheel motors, which is super cool. They even have dual disc brakes back here too. I looked these over as best as I could, and I couldn't find any identifiable markings without being able to roll the wheels, but what I did see looks to be Chinese writing, making me wonder if these are one of those products you see like on Temu or Wish or maybe even Alibaba, where they're kind of a wordplay on an existing brand. Hummingbird, humming bike. I'm not saying that's the case, but what I see does make me wonder. Yet another clue these haven't been ridden in some time. Look at this rear rotor. You know, I talk about warped rotors every now and then, but this one, it is very easy to see, and that's badly warped. They're both like that. All of this, though, secondary to what attracted my attention to start, this back end. This is the cargoiest of cargo bikes, or cargo e-bikes, that I've ever seen, and I have to wonder if these came from the factory like this, or if this is some sort of modification. Both bikes look to be identically made, albeit one has some loops added. Everything else looks like it could be from the factory. I have to admit, this is the first cargo bike or cargo e-bike that I've ever seen that has a ball hitch made onto it. No doubt those dual motors and dual disc brakes have been put to the test on a setup like this. I would love to see what wattage and torque these motors have. That's where I'm reaching out to you. Help me out and comment below if you know what these are and where they came from. Another curious note, where these are located, A, I'm surprised they haven't been stolen, and B, it's not really somewhere I could see an e-bike with a ball hitch mount needed, so yeah, curious all around. I'd also like to know what batteries power these dual motors. Yeah, very curious about all of this, so comment if you know anything, and if I can figure out what they are, I'd like to know their backstory. I'm very curious about these. Thanks so much for watching KevCentral. Have a great day.